Yeah, okay.
Hello, fine folks, and welcome to Booghy Plays. Today I'm not playing as Ken, I'm playing with questions. My guest today is the designer of games like Vinos, Escape Plan, Gallerist on Mars, heavy beasts for us heavy lovers. He has let's say a mind of his own. He's somehow a unique designer in this industry. I'm very happy and honored to have with me today Vital Lacerda. Welcome, sir.
Hello, Booghy. Hello, everybody. Thank you for having me here today.
It is my pleasure to have you. How is the weather in Portugal right now?
Oh, it's okay. A little bit cold for us. Like I don't know, 90 degrees. It's cold for being here. But well, some rain today. I don't know. I'm okay. I have a nice view in my office, so
Yeah.
and doesn't matter how is outside. Yeah, I'm cooler inside. So
Yeah. So we're going to have, as I said, we're going to have the interview in two parts. The first one is more about you. At the end, it's also about you, but it's a set of questions. I don't know if you have watched other interviews that I have made. If you don't, you're going to be a bit surprised. So let's start. I would say. Um, we're going to go way back with my first question, which is where were you born and where did you grow up?
well, I born in Lisbon, and I grew up in Lisbon, and I still live here. So I just moved away from my home by where I born, like 12 kilometers away. So I never left the capital of Portugal. So yeah,
I
I'm still
see.
here. Yeah,
uh,
I like this city, and now I'm living near the sea, so it's okay.
it's
I
not
really
bad.
like to be here. No, it's great. It's
Not
great.
bad.
Yeah.
How was it to grow up in Lisbon? I think you're a child of the 80s.
I'm a child from the 80s. Yeah, I'm an old guy right now. So yeah.
How was growing up in Lisbon in the 80s? How was life back then?
Oh, it was great for me. We were outside all the time, having activities. I don't know. People right now just stay at home with their phone. We didn't have phones. Well, we have the phone, but it's connected to the wall, not the same thing. And I don't know. I skate a lot. I play football. I only come back home when my mother called me to have lunch or supper. So outside, usually all day outside, and that's how we live in the 80s. Probably most of the kids. Yeah.
Yeah, it's close to what we lived in the 90s also.
Yeah, we didn't have much to do at home, so and we have a lot to do outside home. So, and
Yeah, home was for homework, and I don't know, and watching.
homework, yeah, homework is about 10 minutes a day, 20 minutes a day. So
Oh,
we went to the school. We spent 10 minutes a day in homework and then outside. And most of the weekends is outside all day. So yeah,
yeah.
I really, yeah. I
Well,
was lucky. I was one those kids that was happy with her life when we were kids. So yeah, I enjoy my youth. Yeah, I enjoy my youth.
yeah, your the childhood. I suppose you went to school there. What were your parents' jobs? What did they do? Professions?
Oh, my father is an engineer, and he still is retired now. But he worked a lot in the foreigner. He was not at home a long time, so he stays at home like 15 days, and then went outside for to foreigner. He worked on the in many places, since China to Norwegian. So he traveled a lot. Maybe that's why I also like to travel right now. And my mother stayed at home. At that time, it's something that was normal
Yeah.
to have mothers at home to take care of the children. She had 3 kids, so someone has to take care of them. So
So you had siblings. You had two siblings.
yeah, I had 2 girls and a boy. I have a brother and a sister.
And a
Yes,
sister.
they are younger than me.
I see. And what were your interests when you were a child in school? What did you like in school?
Oh man, that is tough questions. I like so many things. I always love to do so many things. Well, I love to play outside, of course, as you already know that. I'm a lover of radical sports, so skateboards and everything, surf, everything I could do outside, I would do. I have other interests like I still some interests that I still love. I love music. I love movies. I like to read. So there's a lot of things that I really like. But my favorites is probably are movies and music. Music is my favorite thing in the world, probably. So,
Yeah.
of course, board games right now. But at the time, at the time we played board games. We played the usual board games.
We get there. We
Monopoly
get
and
there.
stuff.
Don't hurry.
Okay.
Don't hurry.
Yeah.
We're getting there. We're getting there.
All right.
What I was asking, what did you like in school as I know, maths or languages or things like? Did you have favorite classes?
Favorite what?
Classes.
Classes. Yeah, I like. Well, drawings is one of my favorites. I like the class of design and drawings. I had it. I like languages also, and I also like everything that was connected with mechanisms to move something around, like engineering part. A little bit older, like about my, I don't know, 12, 13. I went to the mechanic school. So that's part of probably my father being an engineer, but I always like machines and all of that stuff. So I like to mount and dismount machines. There's something that I still do. I fix everything at home. So I think this comes from the kid. Yeah.
I see. So were you a fan of mathematics?
Well, I am not the advanced mathematics. I didn't have any advanced mathematics in my life. But I like mathematics. I like science. I love science. That's one of the things that I love the most. And I like to explore, and I like to understand how things work. And that's it. And I like mechanics. I'm a technological freak. So everything that is technological, I want to see and I want to look for it. So.
You were a very occupied child, as you said. You liked a lot of things when you were a child. You liked to do a lot of things. Did you play any instrument? You said you love music. Did you play any instrument or?
Well, when I was a kid, but later on, I about 16 years old, I started to play guitar. I still play guitar right now. I have one on the back. You can see that. And
electric
right
guitar.
now, Well, I also have a classic guitar. I play both.
Acoustic.
They are very different.
Yeah.
I started playing electric guitar a few years ago, not many years ago. I play mostly acoustic guitar, and I started playing saxophone a few years ago also. So yeah, I like jazz and blues and all of that stuff.
I see.
We are getting old. We get different tastes, So.
Yeah. So you, I suppose that you went to high school also in Lisbon, and in that era, in your when in that time you started playing. You said you were playing football. You're playing a lot of games outside, but where did you find games or board games? What was the age or time when you started to find board games?
Oh, very early in life. Like I played with my friends. I had a friend that has a table outside, and he had a lot of games. We have we played the usually games that come to Portugal. So we had a publisher called Majora. It's a very old publisher. It doesn't exist anymore, and it brings some games to Portugal. But we mainly played the usually ones, the Monopoly, the Clue, I think it's the
Yeah,
name.
yeah,
It's
clue.
Cluedo in Portugal, but yeah, it's Clue. We had a game named Petróleo and Bolsa. So we had a few games that are very known right now, but we don't want to play them anymore. Uh, I remember that time I even wrote a new set of rule books for Monopoly.
I see.
I love dice so much that I took the dice from Monopoly and wrote us a new set of rules where we play Monopoly without using dice. So,
I see.
and I still don't use dice in any of my games. I don't know how to use them. So anyway,
I'm trying to think if there is a game where you dice, but there is not one.
no, I don't
No.
have any
Uh,
dice in my game. Well, I will have one now that is Fado that has dice that have a lot of dice, like 16 dice, but it's just a
Counters.
they work like a counters. Yes,
Yeah,
they work
okay.
like
I was
counters.
expecting that. Uh, so, when did that happen? So, in childhood, in school, in high school, discovering board games. 10 years, or
Well,
around what age?
yeah, around 10, 12,
Ah, I
11
see.
years old. Yes, yeah.
And since then, you have played board games, or did you ever stop playing board games?
No, I never stopped. Well, maybe a few years. I don't know.
Usually, why do I ask you? Usually,
I had a couple a couple friends that we always played games together. We met at Fridays to play games, but I didn't know any games besides card games and the old ones, but card games, and we played a lot of mahjong for a long time, like a long period of time, like I don't know, 7 years. And one day I just
I
thought to myself that I'm sure that there are more games than the ones I play. So and
okay,
look
I see.
at it. So then the internet just arrived and we searched in the internet and of course found BGG that was there all the time. So yeah.
So, uh, when you went to, usually it happened in some of my interviews that people said that after they had a lot of interesting games when they were a child, but then going through high school and to university, a lot of them just gave up games and found them later. What did you study in university, and how was your gaming life during those years?
Well, as I said to you, I had a couple of friends that we played games together, mahjong mostly and card games. But it was yeah. During the university, we have more stuff to do than
Exactly.
playing games, right? So,
Exactly.
uh, and it was a very nice time for me because that is I shouldn't say this online, but my father's my parents lived on China, and I was alone here in Portugal with my brother. So and yeah, it was a great time for us to have fun. We
Uh,
are at the university together, so yeah.
what did you study at university?
I study on the University of Design and Marketing and Design in Portugal. It was called IAD. So, and my major is on marketing, and then
Marketing.
I had a master's in art history. So yeah.
Okay. So you talk about your siblings. Do you have a good relationship with them? Did you play games together?
Yeah, we did. Mostly my brother, because my sister was a dancer, a ballerina, and she was very busy all the time.
Yeah.
So me and my brother were more close for the fun parts. So yeah.
So as you talk to me, as we talk more, I can see that games were a big part of your life. When did you discover modern board games?
More board games.
Modern, the new one.
Modern, yeah. It's once I discovered BGG board games. I was looking for. We played mostly mahjong, and I still love mahjong. It's a great game. Well, it has a lot of luck, but we had fun for that because we could play at couples, and we have some drinks and we play mahjong all night usually at Friday night. But then I was looking for more games, and I hit the internet and find Board Game Geek. And after that, Board Game Geek just changed my life completely. It was like 2005. So, yeah.
And what was your first game that you played? What was the
modern game?
Yeah.
I remember that one. I started playing Settlers of Catan.
Of course.
Settlers of Catan. We start playing that, but then I start to try heavier games that I start to enjoy even more and more and more. I remember that I bought Kailus.
Oh yeah.
And then Tigres and Eufrates, and I Puerto Rico. So I start to have a little bit more. My taste just drifted a little bit more to heavy games, evolved a little bit, and then games like Brass come out, and even D-Maker is one of the heaviest games that I play, and yeah, I still have it.
The old edition, or do you have the newer?
I have the first edition. Yeah, I have the first edition.
Okay. What kind of? I suppose you are still playing games today outside of your let's call it mandatory play time, which is to play test your games, and we'll talk about them in a second. Do you manage to play other games, other designers' games? Yeah.
Sure, I play a lot of games. I play every Friday. I have a group, and I play at home. I have, if you see in my bag, I have a small office there, a small table. Yeah. That's a game room, and that's where I play with my friends at Friday night. I usually. Sometimes I play twice a week, new games. For me, it's very important to play new games, to see what people is doing, to see what is happening in the modern times, right? Yeah. And what the other designers are doing. So it's for me, playing games is just like, if you are a writer and you don't read books, you cannot be a good writer, right? So for me, board games is the same. If I'm try to be a good board game designer and I don't play other games, I will never be a good board game designer. That's my philosophy there. So I have to play games, and I'm a gamer also. I really love to play games. You see these shelves here. Well, they are closed, but they are filled with games.
Not your games.
That's my games. I have, I don't know, 300 games probably.
Oh, okay.
Not counting. Yeah.
But not your own designs, I suppose.
Not my own designs, no. I only have 10 games for my own design, or 12, I don't know. I have some, but not many. Not that many.
What kind of a player are you today? You enjoy playing only heavy ones, but do you play party games? Do you play family games?
I play family games with my family. My preferences, of course, are the heavier games, right? So that's the ones I like. And my groups usually play heavy games. We are arranging for this Friday. We are trying to play, I'm not sure yet, maybe Foundation is the name. Federation is the name of the game that I bring from Hessen, and I didn't open it yet. So probably we'll play that game. So it's a heavy game. But I also enjoy to play lighter games with my family. My wife, my kids, we play lighter games.
But no dice?
No dice. Very rare to play games with dice. Unless you can change the numbers of the dice. For instance, Crystal Palace is one game that I love that has dice, but you play for the
your
kids,
value,
right?
Yeah, you set the value,
That's how I like. But I'm a fan of Steffenfeld, and he uses dice very well. He really uses dice in a way that I really enjoy. I don't know. how this guy does that. He's a real genius. He's very good doing that.
Yeah.
No.
So, I did you play part? Do you play party games ever?
Party games is very rare. I like filler games to play between two heavy games or to play after late at the evening. I play trick tracking games, so
Trick
card
taking.
games, trick taking games, yes. But party games is not my it's not in my way usually. It's very rare, unless I'm in the, I don't know, Christmas night and the family is all there and we are all hang together. So yeah.
Yeah. With non-gamers, usually they might work better.
Party games, yeah.
Yeah.
But it's very rare for me to play with no gamers.
Non-gamers, I see.
My world is filled with gamers, you know. So my friends are mostly all gamers. So, yeah.
So you were a gamer. You played games. You played games throughout all your. Since you were 10 years old, you played games. At some point, you said, "I want to do something different. I want to design games." How come that? How come the apple hit your head?
It was a coincidence. It just happened. I was playing games since 2000, modern games since 2005, and I would like to have Portugal in the industry, right? So I designed one of my favorite games ever is Age of Steam. So the first thing I designed it was the map of Age of Steam.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now I think the map is still online. Anybody can download it.
It wasn't published by Eagle Griffin in the new.
No, it was not. I made a replace of that map for Railways of the World.
Yeah,
that is
yeah.
almost the same game, but less heavier.
We played it here on the channel. We have it on the channel here. We played it live.
Okay. So I designed that one with the Portugal map, and I tried to, let's place Portugal on the industry, and I just upload it and place it on BGG, and unexpectedly, it was really unexpectedly, I was not expecting for that, I received good reviews about the map. And I had another idea that was, maybe I can have another Portuguese map. I want to, I had a uncle that I love, that I want to have something to make something for him, and he has viniculture. I'm forgetting the name right now.
He grows grapes and makes wines.
Yeah, it's a viniculture, right? It's a viniculture, and I had the idea of maybe I can make a game for fun with my friends. We can play a game about vinhos. Why not? About wine. And
so wine is vinhos in Portuguese.
Yeah, wine is vinhos in Portuguese. Yeah.
Okay.
And we start playing, and we have some stuff that happens. The first time I played the game on the table, it was like 2007 probably. I placed the game on the table, and the region was divided in 24 spaces. Right now it's 9 for the players, and it was completely unplayable. And it took us like 30 minutes to make the setup of the game. And we just did that, and we stopped playing. That's my first experience with a prototype.
But you pushed forward apparently, and you came out big, let's say, because Vinhos was quite a success when it arrived back then.
Yes, that's true. Then I could finish the game. I don't know how. In my spare time, I was working with an advertising agency, but in my spare time, I made the game.
What were you working? What was your job back then? I suppose
I was an art director.
An art director for an agency.
Yes.
Yeah. For an ad agency.
Advertising agency, yeah. And I work on that. I had that job for 15 years until I came back. Then I had my own company. Then I sell the company and come home and work at home and start to have more times designing games. But with Vinhos, the first one, I just send it to a lot of publishers just for fun. to see what happened, and one of them just give me an answer, and a positive one. It was, "What's your game?" at the
What's your
time.
game at the time? Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, let's not talk about what's your game. Um,
Well,
and my
they
precious
were
Madeira.
responsible. Yeah, I know, but they were responsible for my release, right? For the first game I released
Yeah,
ever.
they were responsible for great games out there,
Yeah,
which I have.
Booghy, I'm sorry. I'm having a lot of noise in my headphones from when you talked about. I don't know if it is in my side.
Probably it's
It,
from your side. I don't think we're having
okay,
this issue.
okay. Let me
Uh,
put this down then. Can you hear me well?
yeah, I can hear you. It's fine. You are
Okay,
fine. I
okay.
don't know. Probably do you have battery on your headphones? If you have battery, usually
Yeah,
when it
he's
goes down.
telling me that I have battery for 7 hours.
Yeah.
I'm okay.
I don't know if somebody could tell us if there is a problem, but I did some tests before the stream and everything was fine with my
Okay,
microphone. So if you hear a little bit, I don't know why. I'm sorry.
no
Uh,
worries, no worries.
so
Just to make sure that the sound is not being saved
yeah,
like
it's okay.
that.
It's
Okay.
okay. So let's go to let's talk about a bit this job as a designer. Um, you were published. Was it easier? So how did you find it hard to be published the first time? Was it a hard endeavor for you?
Well, not really, because as I
Something
said to you,
happened.
I
Now
sent.
something happened with I don't know what you did, but something happened with the. Okay, now it's muted.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, but now we hear you badly.
And now can you hear me now?
It's the same. It's badly again.
Oh, that's strange because now I don't hear your click on my headphones. Wait, give me a second. I don't know what is happening on my phones, but
Okay.
you cannot hear me now, right now. Wait.
No, I cannot. I'll mute the sound on your. Let me see. No, I hear you very very badly. And if
And now
now I
it's
hear
okay?
now it should be okay. Yeah, now it seems
It's
okay.
better now?
Yes, now it's good.
Okay. And I'm hearing you well also. I'm sorry about that.
No problem.
We're talking about
Yeah, being the this is the perks of live live things. Uh,
sure.
we were talking about was it hard for you to be a first time designer, published for the first time?
Well, I had a lot of luck because, as I said to you, I just for fun I finished the game and I sent. Well, it's not completely finished, but almost. And I sent a lot of. I wrote the rulebook and I sent the rulebook for a lot of companies.
Yeah,
And
it's happening
I was not
again. I don't know why. It's happening again.
really. Should I take my phones out? Wait. Okay, now can you hear me?
Yes, I
Or
can
it
hear you now.
makes
It's
better?
yeah, now it's good. Yeah, no, the sound is good.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know what happened.
Strange.
Just yeah, keep that on. Keep the noise cancellation
And
high, and it's good.
this is good or not?
Yeah, we can hear you fine. We can hear you
Oh, now I
fine.
can hear you. All right. So now I can hear you. Um,
Okay, so
okay, can you hear me now better?
yeah, yes, we're good. Yeah, yep.
All right. Oh, I was talking about, as I told you, I sent some emails. I finished the rulebook and I sent some rulebooks to everybody that I knew. I don't know, for a few companies. And Eagle Griffin just, sorry, Eagle Griffin, not Eagle Griffin.
What's your game?
That's my company now. No, What's Your Game just answered me saying that they were interested in the game and they could publish it. And I was very excited with it. And that's it. I was not expecting. It was something that I just made for fun.
Oh, I see. So okay, the first one was made for fun, but what about the second? What about the third? How come? How did you?
Well, the second time I was invited well, I went to Essen in that year, 2010. It was when
Vinhos was
uh,
released.
Venus was released, and I made some contacts there. I met another company that it was Geokix, that they still have my second game,
Yeah,
that was CO2.
CO2. Yeah.
And I made another game. I sent them to them. They liked it. The team. We talked a little bit on. It was 2011, I think, and CO2 was published in 2012. So but before that, I sent CO2 to Z-Man. It was a company that
Yeah, existed. Yeah.
was working very well. The guys that will release Pandemic, right?
Yep.
And he stays with the game like almost a year there. Didn't, and the answer was negative. And then I went to Geokix and they liked the team and they made the game.
Yeah.
So with CO2, it has a very nice history behind, because I was playtesting CO2 on Lyricon. Lyricon is the company, is the convention that I go every year here in Portugal.
Portugal, yeah.
I would say that is the best Portuguese convention. At least for designers and publishers, all of that. And I have friends there. The organizers are Paulo and Nuno,
Yes.
guys from Nippon and Madeira. And I went there, and in that year, Martin Wallace and Mark Gerks were there. Okay, and I could make a table of CO2 in the morning with both. So both are sitting. I was not known, right? So, but I only had released venues. But they both sit down at my table of CO2, and we make a table of CO2, a playtesting of CO2, and I changed the game completely after that playtest.
Yeah.
Because they said so bad things about. I learned so much about that playtesting that I completely changed the game. And yeah. Martin Wallace and Mark Gertz are great designers, and they had so many things good to say about how to make a good game at that time. It was amazing. It was the best ever table I had once.
A playtesting table, yeah.
With the most designers, right? Yeah. So it was an honor for me. Of course, we had another great designer there. Paulo was there also. So yeah, I have a picture of that table on the internet, on BGG. You can find that picture.
I see. You have starting with the Gallerist, you started you went into a partnership with Eagle Griffin Games, and all your games.
Yeah, but before that, I published Kanban.
Yeah, you published Kanban with
Stronghold.
With Stronghold. But I wanted to talk about a bit about having a partnership with a publisher.
Okay.
Do you enjoy more having a strong a store partnership with one publisher, or you? I in a way, is it better to do it this way, or and why does it work for you better to do it this way?
Well, for me, it does work really, really well, because I know very well everybody. Okay, and I don't know with the other designers, but for me, at this time they are mostly my family. You know, they've been at my home, I've been at their home, and that's a relationship that works very well. We know everybody. Randall have been here last year. We went together to cons. We met at Essen. We met at the United States. I spent 1 month on the United States last year. So having a relationship with Eagle Griffin is, well, probably the best thing that ever happened to me.
I see. And for them, and probably a good relation that happened. I think they could say the same.
We have a good relationship, and they probably are happy with my designs, because they accept I still publish with them, and they accept my next ones, right? Do
you have? I know you worked with you worked a lot. I don't know if you still work with Paulo. I forgot his name. Sorry for that.
Paul Soldad. Paul Soldad.
No, not Soledad. Your developer. You
Paul
were
Grogan.
no. The developer.
Paul Incao.
Paul Incao, yes.
Unfortunately, we don't develop. He didn't develop since the pandemic. Paul is a little bit far away, but yeah, we worked a lot on a few of designs, just like Kanban. He designed the Kanban with me. It was a great partnership at that time. He's a great guy. I really like it. I really like him. We work really well together. Paul is a great problem solver. You know, if we have a problem that we try to solve, he comes up with a few options, or he pushes me to the limit, so I can try to solve those problems with
smarter ideas.
Help, yeah, his help. You know, so it does not look for solutions, but he just tells me how the thing should work well, and I then find the solutions. It's something that is difficult to explain. I cannot explain in words.
I can understand what you're saying.
Work together on this, yeah. But unfortunately, it's not been around. It's family problems, family's private issues. He's not been around for the last games we did. I hope he can come back when he's free and have more free time.
So, do you enjoy working with a developer? You find it you find better this partnership, or do you enjoy having the both caps on, the designer and the developer, or do you prefer to go you being the designer, have someone who help you develop the game?
Well, I have a system. You know, I have a system to work. When I start designing a game, I do a lot of research before to see if the design can work or the team can work or not. Okay, and then I start to play testing and develop the game, usually online, because it's faster to start to prove that the base of the game works well. Okay. And then I have on Discord, I do that on Discord, on Tabletopia, and I have a few developers, and right now Shelly is one of them that just follow the developing or the design of the game since day one until its release, okay? And so then there is one time, and I'm personally dependent on feedback from playtesters, and that's the process that takes longer, is to playtest the game. Because I'm a designer that follows the playtesting, you know. So I'm finding solutions for the feedback I receive from the playtesters. I couldn't do the game alone. I need the people that play the games and send me some feedback, and then I see the problems. I try to solve them. I have my goal. I have to reach the goal. Sometimes the information is good. Sometimes the information is not good, and my role there is to filter well the information to what you think that is good for the design, what you think is good for the goal that I'm looking for, or there are some information that normally and many times it's just personal tastes, okay? And the personal tastes from the playtesters sometimes are not fitting on my vision on the game. And that's how the game the process works. And it's playtesting most of the time and the feedback I receive from playtesters. And I can do some advertising if you want to play test my next games. Just join me on Discord.
Yeah, there's a lot of discussions there. I am on your Discord. I watch a lot of things that happen there with all the development. You talk about the process. As far as I know, you research a lot the theme of the game. The theme of a game, if you try to enter an universe, you try to know it very, very well. This is what I kind of gathered about you from all the informations I could gather. Do you care a lot about theme in gaming, or you just do this because you want you prefer it this way?
No, I care about the team a lot. And probably my names are most known by the team, right? I know that people sometimes get pissed because they don't understand the team, but that's what is in my mind. I'm a team guy, yeah. I'm a team and a team guy. But anyway, the team is very important, and I developed the team. I developed the mechanisms around the team all the time. My way to work is I have something that I want to achieve, and the mechanisms then come around. For instance, the game that I'm designing right now is called Speakeasy, and it's from the prohibition laws on the 20s, the dry, where people could not drink. It's out of law. It's a prohibition era on the 20s, and we have a trucks to deliver booze, and then the obvious mechanism is to pick up and deliver, right? Yeah. So, the production is also, I developed some cards, I developed some, I want that new mobsters come into the game and fight the players. So, I was developing mechanisms around the history that I want to tell on the game. And it seems like people is really enjoying this one, so I'm happy with it.
I don't know how this will be. All I know is Escape Plan was the main game that is apart from all other games you have made, which is I call it the most Ameritrash Lacerda.
I call it Euro Ameritrash or Ameri Euro Trash. I don't know, because it has a little bit of both. I developed that game because I'm a fan of Ocean 11 movies and Italian Job and all of that kind of movies. Yeah. That's the game about. That's what the game is about. So again, it's based on the team that I enjoyed and developed mechanisms after that.
Do you have, of course you have spoken a bit about this until now, but do you have a certain design philosophy?
Yes, I have. Mostly it's playtesting. Playtesting for me is the heart of the game. I come with a core and the goal that I want to go, and I have a vision for that game. But sometimes the game that I place on the table at the first day, it will be a completely different one when it goes to publish, because it takes me usually 1-2 years of playtesting and developing, so the game is changing every time I playtest. There's something that I change. For instance, Speakeasy is ready, and I've been playtesting on the cons right now, live, a lot of live. I've been on GridCon in England. I've been in the Porto. I have a few groups that play live with the game. We are testing basically the illustrations and the design and that Ian is doing to see if they fit on the table. And I'm still tweaking stuff. I'm still taking, okay, this bonus doesn't belong here. I don't want to have this bonus anymore. The coins should be one more instead of 10. Should you start with 12? Something like that.
It's adjusting.
Small tweaks that I'm doing. I'm adjusting every time I play testing. Many people don't like that, just like the publisher, because he wants the rules done. And by doing this tweaking, I'm always changing the rules, right? So,
in the end, how many playtests do you finally get to do?
Oh, I don't know. It depends on the game. For instance, Speakeasy was a quick one to do. I just played testing for a year.
But numbers.
I would say that Shelly.
In numbers.
I don't know. I have a playtester, online playtester that have more than 100 games. So, and I have many other more games live that I do. So I don't know. Depends on the games. I remember that Lisboa took me 3 to 4 years to finish. So maybe 300 times on the table.
I see.
Probably. That's a lot of playtesting.
It is a lot.
It's not 1,000, but it's a lot, because if you notice, the playtesting is not the same as playing a game.
Yeah.
Once you know how to play the game takes like 2.5 hours, 3 hours to play, right? But playtesting, we shared, we talked about it, we change rules during playtesting, the turns are longer. And I remember designing on Mars, we had playtestings with 7 to 8 hours. So even if you see 300 playtesters, that's a lot of hours of developing in the game.
Yep. And you say practically that Lisboa was the hardest to develop. I thought on Mars would be the one, but yeah.
I don't know. It was not the hardest. I can't compare. It's not the hardest because the process took longer. But I would not say that was the hardest. Probably the hardest to do it was Weather Machine, because it was made during during COVID.
Okay.
And there's a window of 2 years that we couldn't play test online. We could only play test online. We couldn't test live.
I see.
And that was terrible, right? So, and I only could play test live after the COVID is over. So we had less live play testing, and that was took longer and harder to finish.
Yeah. What do you think, and how do you see replayability in a game? What do you think is key to replayability in a game, and what do you do to make sure that your game is replayable?
Well, I played a lot. So basically, if I played a lot and the game is different every time I played, it probably has some replayability. But I think my games have some, because after, I don't know, 100 games and we still want to play the game, it has some replayability, I think.
But do you do a conscious thing?
I do. I have usually I have random openings where the components that you place on the game are changing every time.
Yep.
Then the interaction between the players, it's move related with those random elements that you have in the beginning. So this makes a game to have more replayability. Also, the random parts, it's not the lucky parts of the game, it's mostly the random parts and the interactivity between the players that makes the game to have more replayability.
Yeah, because I see replayability it has this line, it divides at some point. It's replayability which is created by players and replayability which is built into the game. So
yes,
if a game manages to do them both, then you'll have practically what infinite might mean, but it can have almost to infinite replayability, because you change players, you change replayability practically.
But if there are any interactivity between the players, of course you have to change the way the game goes, right? And the way the game ends. If those games that are mostly, and I try to be away with my designs, be away as most as I can from those the multiplayer solitaire games. I think they have less replayable, a lot of random elements built on the game to have more replayability. Mostly card games, right? But I like to have interplay between players, interactivity between players.
Interplay, yeah. That's a good way of saying it. Interplay. This is a. I don't think you're a big fan of randomness, are you? You don't like dice.
No, I am of randomness. I'm not on lucky. So for me, there are two different things, because you can have randomness on setup by having different elements that lead the players to play in a certain way, okay? And this makes that the game will be different all the time. The other thing, and usually that randomness that I place in the game It's just to change the elements and to change the way the players play, and not just to give luck to the game.
Yep.
Because usually you have that information ahead. Okay, I'm not inserting information that you don't know what it is during the game, and that will define the end game or the victory condition. And for me, that is luck. So
Yep.
I don't like games that we take 3 hours to play, and the condition or the victory condition is because you roll a die and you won. Okay, I like that the player with the most skill on the game wins the game, and most of my public or the people who play my games like that too.
Yeah.
And that's why I reduce the luck in the game as much as I can. But sometimes a luck element that can be the same to all the players to balance things. It's fun. Just like I'm remembering Vinhos. Vinhos have the luck element of the drawing of a card that say that the weather will be different on that year, and if you produce better or worse. But that's the same information to all the players, and that's the information that the players have ahead, and they can have a tactic to play against it, right? But it's the same to all the players. It's not just one player that say, okay, this year you are producing less and the other player are producing more. So, and those kinds of elements I don't like. I like to balance the information to all the players. If it's something that influence on the victory condition, yes.
Do you? There are some games which are, how should I put it? If a player you will know since the middle of the game who is going to win. Do you take precautions in your design to combat that?
Well, many people complain that my designs are not transparent.
They're opaque.
It's very difficult to know who's winning at the mid game. Right?
Yeah, that's true. That's right.
Right now, for instance, with Speakeasy, we have a screen where you put your money there. So nobody knows how much money you have. It's very difficult. Even if one player is ahead of the other players, you cannot see. You cannot check if it is better or not. Usually by not giving the complete scoring during the game. My games you can score during the game, but you also have usually some information that you have and the others don't for the scoring at the end of the game that can change everything. I remember on certain games of On Mars where one player ended up with 40 points, and one last player had 2 or 3 points. And at the end, the positions just inverted. The player in last place just won the game by 2 or 3 points. So, and I like that type of scoring. So.
I see. Yeah, usually these work well with end game conditions. If the
end game conditions usually goes through there.
Because you
change the way you score or the way.
You practically balance a game of in-game scoring with an end game.
With the end game scoring. Because players in my games, I do my best to have more than one way to score. So, and you can play in the different ways, and that results in that. Some players play to have points during the game, others play to have points at the end of the game. So you never know who's winning. Well, sometimes it happens. Sometimes it happens that you already know who's the first player and who's winning. But sometimes it's a surprise. Most of the time, that's what I like.
I am the kind of player who enjoys doing a strategy and then be rewarded at the end with the points. I'm not the point seeker. If I do this, I'm going to get 1 more point. If I do this, I'm going to get 2 more points. I'm not that kind of player, and I don't enjoy these kinds of point salads.
Well, you don't like Barcelona then.
You should see my review of it.
I didn't see it, but yeah, that's the type of game.
Yeah.
But many people enjoy it, and I understand why. It has nice mechanisms. The game is fast, and you are doing points for everything you do.
Yeah,
So.
exactly. So I'm not a no. I don't enjoy those. I want to be rewarded. I want to do something, and I want to be rewarded at the end for all the effort that I put in. I don't.
Yeah. Usually my games don't have that problem because they are very connected between things. You have to do A, B to get C,
Exactly.
So you are not getting points for having A, you're not getting points for having B, you're not getting points for having C. So you have to reach a certain point to score. And that's what I like. I like that you first go for the resources, then you spend the resources for doing something that gives you the score. And that's the way I like to think my games anyway.
They're very, I would call them analytical. I would call them, I'd call it in a like in programming. You need to program your brain a little bit to think 1, 2, 3 turns ahead, to know that I'm doing this now, then I'm going to do that, then this way I'm going to get this.
Yeah, that's what I love. That's how the game should be, right? All the games should be like that.
Well, not all.
I know, but for me.
Okay, so and now I want to talk a bit about you have done I think your first 2 games with, or 3 games without Ian O'Toole, and then all your games you did with Ian O'Toole.
Right. We start with the gallerist.
You started with the gallerist, exactly. And then he ended up redoing Kanban. Also, I don't know if it's CO2. I think it's not. It's also Ian O'Toole. He redid the artwork on that. I think that is your artwork. No, it's done by you at.
Yes, Kanban and Vinhos. He redone both. And he also redone CO2 for the second edition.
Yeah, the second edition. It's his. Okay. The first one was yours. I know I knew you do a bit of graphic design also, and you work a bit on. How is it to work with a graphic designer and
an artist?
An artist, yeah.
So you are asking about
the relationship between a designer.
Work with Ian O'Toole.
Yeah.
It's great. It's great. The only bad part of working with Ian is because he lives on Australia and I'm living in Portugal, and we have 8 hours of difference to work with. So in my morning is his evening.
Yeah.
So that's the only bad part. But after that, it's great. We talk a lot together, mostly almost daily. We talk almost every day about the game. He plays the games, and he also helps to develop the games. So, and I sometimes I change mechanisms to fit his design better on the board. Sometimes he changes the design to fit my things better on the board. So it's been great since 2015, and we met by a coincidence. It is a story that I like to tell because in 2015 I was not very known. I had only Kanban, Vinhos, and CO2, and not with big companies. And I had the gallerist, and I asked Eagle Griffin if they want to make the game, and they said no, we cannot make that game because it's very complex for us. We don't have enough team to develop a game so heavy. And I said, okay, but just tell me how much do you want to spend, and I do everything for you. I do the develop, I do the rule book, I find someone to make the art, and I just deliver to you the game ready to print. And they said, okay, let's try, because of course they enjoy the game, they enjoy the rule book. And then I was looking for someone, and I received an email from Ian O'Toole. We didn't know each other. And I received an email from Ian O'Toole. He was not very known at the time also. And he just sent me an email asking if I have any game that he could do to enter on the industry, because he wants to work on board games. And I said it was a great coincidence because I was looking for someone to do it. And he did that game in 15 days, the art and iconography of the game in 15 days, because we are on a worry, me and him. And then Paul Grogan, another thing that was cool, it was for a few years, Paul Grogan did all the edition of the rulebooks.
Yeah.
And Grogan wants also to leave his profession and work on rulebooks and work on this. And we also contact each other, and it was great. You know, when every stars align together, and everybody wants to work in the project without knowing each other, and the project works very well. And Eagle Griffin was very happy with that, and they published the game.
So
I even looked for art on the forums. I went to art forums because I couldn't afford the real art from very known artists.
I see.
So I went to art forums and asked for people, do you want me to send something, a painting or a picture, and I will publish your work of art on the game, and I will send you a game back. And people accepted, and I receive a lot of works of art that are the works of art that I have in the galleries still now.
I see.
It was a very fun time to work on the game. Everything was great at this time. Everything aligned for us to make the game happen. Yeah.
And
after that, after that we just kept working together.
As I can see, you like long-term partnerships. Is it hard to work with you? You having the background as a art director in an ad agency, is it hard for an artist to work with you, for Ian to work with you? Because you might be more demanding than a normal designer.
You have to ask him.
Now I'm asking you to see how are you feeling about it.
Well, sometimes maybe you can interview him also, and you ask him.
I've been trying for a year.
It's difficult to work with. I'm demanding with certain things, but he also is an artist that also wants the things well done, you know, and we can find a balance between both.
I see.
So
now we're going back slowly towards the questionnaire. What is fun to you?
Oh, I just stopped hearing you.
So what is fun to you?
I just hear you to say what is fun to you.
Yeah.
Just that.
Yeah. What is fun to you?
That's the question.
Yeah.
What is fun to me?
Yeah.
Oh, it's fun to me to play board games. It's fun to me to play board games mostly. It's fun to me to play instruments. It's fun to me I play PlayStation. It's also fun. So I watch movies and shows a lot with my wife. So I still have some fun stuff. I like to travel. That's one of the funniest things that I can have in my life. I really love to travel. I love to know new people. I love to be in conventions. It's strange because my work is fun, you know. For me, it's fun. I can say that I have the best work that I can ever had. So I'm really happy with that. And it took me 40 years to find it, but I
do you have? Can you talk not as short as you can about how your day works from morning till evening?
Oh, it's very boring. If it is a working day, I'm just sitting here in front of the computer, working on graphics, working on new ideas for mechanisms. I have my board game here in front of me and try different stuff. And then I may have to go to Discord to play test the game. So yeah, it's a normal day, not very exciting. Not very exciting. The life of a board game designer is not that exciting. The most exciting part probably is the research and then the play of the game live with friends. So and then the conventions is cool. But my normal day, most of the days, is just seated here in front of the.
So work.
It's work, yeah.
Work,
It's
work,
work,
work.
but it's also fun. It's fun work, so I don't mind. Sometimes I don't sleep much at evening because I have some idea or some problem that I want to solve, and I'm awake all evening. And usually in the morning I have a solution or not, but
I see.
I just wake up tired because I didn't sleep.
Ah,
But it's happened. It happens a lot. If you this job is mostly creative job, right? And you cannot control your mind when the ideas come up or not, or the solutions
I see.
shows, right?
One more question. Do you know what is your most played game outside your playtests?
I don't know. Probably the galleries because it's the oldest
No,
one.
no. Outside your own, outside your
Oh,
playtests.
my home. My most played game is Brass.
Brass. Okay.
Yeah, Lancashire. I have two games. One, the board is completely without color already because of the
I see.
of the coins that are moving on the colors, because of the turn order.
Yeah.
You have the coins on the turn order. They are losing the color, and the cards are. I have some sleeves that don't cover the cards completely, and the top of the cards are black. So I played that game so many times. I probably played at the table, I don't know, 100 times, maybe more.
I see.
Yeah.
And
That's my favorite ever.
that's your
It's
favorite
Brass.
game ever.
Lancashire, the first edition. I don't have the second
You
edition.
don't have the rocky one. You have the classical one.
No, I don't have the bug. Yeah, I don't have the new one.
Do you have a favorite designer? Do you like someone?
I have a favorite designer, Stefan Feld. Well, Stefan Feld is the favorite designer. I'm changing my tastes during the times. It was Martin Wallace.
Yeah.
For a long time, I have a shelf full of Martin Wallace games. Then my taste switched a little bit to Stefan Feld. I still love them all, but I would say that right now the number one is Stefan Feld, and number two is probably Luciani. Luciani is the designer, the modern design he has great games. He has Darwin that I love. He has now Nucleum. He has Barrage. He has Grand House Hotel. So there's a lot of games that he designed that are really, really, really good.
Yeah.
And he uses dice.
He uses dice.
Another thing that I admire. Yeah, he uses dice.
Lots of dice. Yeah. And at the end of this part of the interview, do you want something to add, something that I might not have asked you, something you would like to talk about?
I don't know. I hope people just keep playing my games. That's why I designed them. And enjoy them and giving some feedback about what they like, about what they don't like, and to keep pushing me to my limits to keep designing hopefully good games. That's it. That's probably the thing that makes me more happy is to see people playing my games, right? So anywhere in the world. So
and now we go to my questionnaire, which is 10 questions. We're going to
oh, really?
Yes. And the first question is, what is your let me do a bit of an intro. This questionnaire is derived from Proust, from Marcel Proust, and it was then a bit shaped by Bernard Pivot and then taken by James Lipton in Inside Actor Studio. And this is where I almost blatantly stole it. And I'm gonna ask you I don't know if you have ever seen Inside Actor Studio, but this is where the questionnaire is from.
Okay.
And the first question is, what is your favorite word?
My favorite word?
Yeah.
Right now, gaming.
What is your least favorite word? It can be in Portuguese
also. Envy, probably. Envy is my least favorite word. Yeah.
Why?
I don't know. I don't like that people envy other people's lives,
Envy.
and we see
Envy.
that
Okay.
envy.
Envy.
So
Okay.
yeah,
Okay.
and that is what we see a lot on internet right now.
Okay.
That worries me a little bit.
Envy. I understood heavy.
Envy. I'm sorry about my English. I'm Portuguese, not.
Not a problem. Okay. What turns you on creatively, emotionally, spiritually?
Well, music, basically. Emotionally, spiritually, music is my thing, probably.
Okay.
Yeah.
What turns you off?
Well, probably people talking about other people. It turns me off completely. Talking bad things about other people and their backs, that really turns me off. I really don't appreciate that. So when they do in front of me.
I see.
Negativity is also something that turns me off completely.
What is your favorite drug?
My favorite drug?
Yeah. Drug.
My favorite drug. I don't know. Do I have a favorite drug? Probably adrenaline.
Yeah, probably.
That's my favorite drug. Because I'm a fan of radical sports and I kite surf and snowboard still. I'm with 55 and I still snowboard and kite surf because of the adrenaline of the fear. I have fear of doing that things, but I like to cross those limits. So yeah.
Yeah.
That's probably my favorite drug. Yeah.
We all have our own one. What is your favorite? And this pisses a lot of people off, but not the people who I interview, only the people who watch. A lot of people who watch. What is your favorite curse word?
Curse word.
Yeah. It can be in Portuguese.
Have a curse word.
Also, it can be in Portuguese. It can be in English. Doesn't matter.
I cannot say. Sorry, I cannot say.
So you have one. You can say it.
Well, maybe I have one. Yeah, it's probably the word that we say the most when we are pissed off, right? So, but yeah.
You can say it. You're allowed to.
No, I can't.
Well, it's in Portuguese or in English?
It's in Portuguese, but the translation in English. Well, the translation in English is not as bad as in Portuguese. You know, the meaning in Portuguese is much more. How do I say this?
It creates more powerful images.
Yeah, it's much more powerful in Portuguese because we don't say as much than in English. In English, you people just say it all the time. It's fuck, probably. So I'm sorry. I'm saying this live. I shouldn't. But in Portuguese, the meaning is really hard. It's not something that you say in the easy.
Yeah. What sound or noise do you love?
Sound of noise that I love.
Sound or noise.
Well, there's a lot of them, but again, the sound of music I love.
Okay. But something specific?
An instrument playing. Yeah. I love the sound of the saxophone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what sound or noise do you hate?
Oh, bad noise. When I try to concentrate and there is, I don't know, construction noise. I have a construction noise for about 2 years already next to me because they are making a big building here on my street. And I want to try to work and they just do a lot of noise. I hate it. The machines' noise are terrible outside.
Yeah.
Another noise that I don't like, it's probably, I don't know. I never thought about that. Yeah, probably the construction's noise. It's too much. Every noise that is too high, it's not good.
Which profession outside the one you already do or you did would you like to attempt?
Another from the one that I do now?
Yeah, something else.
Yeah, I would love to be a carpenter.
A carpenter?
I don't know. Yeah. I love the smell of wood.
Okay.
One of the things that I like when I open a board game is the smell of the ink and the wood inside. but I really love the smell of wood. I like to go to a carpenter just for the smelling of the wood, and I like to build nice things in wood. Have you seen the new trucks for Speakeasy? They are in wood, and I can show you a little bit. Where is him? You see there?
Yes,
They are
lower
nice
it down.
with two
Lower it,
pieces
lower
of
it,
wood.
lower it,
So,
lower it,
yeah.
lower it. So, what profession would you not like to attempt?
Oh, so many politicians. I would hate to be a politician. There are others. An attorney. I would like to be an attorney. Probably. I don't have anything against the attorneys or politicians, but well, against politicians I may have, but not against the attorneys. But yeah, I would hate to be one of those. So that's not my kind of thing at all. Yeah.
And my last question of this whole interview, sir, is, and it's a big one, if heaven exists, what would you expect God to say to you when you arrive at the pearly gates?
If heaven exists. Yeah. Well, does heaven exist?
I don't know, but if, this is the question.
Well, I would say I'm surprised. I didn't think this existed, so I'm just surprised. I don't know. That's something that not in my mind all the time.
That's why the question is with if, with a big if.
I would like to live again. Probably would be what I want. If I had to have something to ask him, I would like to live again. So yeah.
Sir, I want to thank you for this awesome time. I had a lot of fun doing this interview. I hope you felt good. I hope you had a good time.
Yeah, I did. Thank you for having me here, Booghy, and I hope you have a lot of people watching. I don't know, but
hopefully, I don't know.
Something that I had say, it was more and less interesting to some people. So yeah, thank you for having me, and good luck to your channel.
Thank you very much, sir. I would kindly ask you to not close the conversation. I will finish it, and then we're gonna close it fast. Oh, thank you again for doing this. This was the interview with Vital Lacerda. I hope you enjoyed it. If you like what you see, please like, share, and subscribe, because keeps the internet alive and us going. And you'll find many others interviews with also Simone Luciani. You'll find one if you want to see it, or Martin Wallace, or a pack of designers will be one with we'll have one with Stefan Feld, hopefully rather soon. So we're trying to do as many as we can. So if you like what you see, please like, share, and subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you can hear it when we go live. Until next time, all I have to say what it says here, and it says play a lot, play loads, as you Brits say, have fun, and bye bye fine folks, wherever in the world you are.